Welcome to a brand new series of Car Mechanics Simulator. We are level 1. We'll answer the phone to a customer. I read in the newspaper that the timing component should be replaced more frequently than recommended by the manufacturer. The same goes for the oil. Please check both of these things and replace whatever you decide is needed. Well, here it is. This is a Royal Crown. And let's have a look under the bonnet. So there's a lot of parts to be discovered. Okay, so we need to change the oil and have a look at the timing components. So first of all, what can I see under here? Well, instantly I can see that the ignition coils need replacing. So I've got the car on the lifter. We'll lift it up and immediately we'll have a look to see what else we can find. We'll take the ignition coils off and we'll check the spark plugs as well. So at the moment we're level 1. We haven't unlocked anything in the garage and we have $6,300 in the bank. So not a lot of money to spend on parts, but judging by the look of these spark plugs, they look okay, and I can't see anything else in bad condition. The oil definitely needs replacing. So let's raise the car up even more and we'll drain the oil. There we go, the oil's draining. There wasn't much in there and it was very dark. Okay, we'll lower the car down again and we'll have a look at the timing components. So that's on the left of the engine. So let's see if I can get these belts off to start off with. The cover won't come off now, and neither will this one. Oh, we can take the head cover off, so we'll do that. Have a look at the camshafts, because it's a double overhead cam. Yeah, they need replacing as well. Okay, we'll try and take this cover off, or maybe the belts. So that's one serpentine belt, and I think to get to the other one I need to take off this, probably the belt tensioner. There we go, and the serpentine belt comes off. We'll take the idler off and probably the water pump and the crankshaft pulley. That will give us ease of access to the timing cover. And there's the timing belt, and you see the cam gears look rusty as well, so they should come off now. Yeah, so I think it's a case of getting the right angle so that we can remove the cam gears. There we go, and the other one, and both of the camshafts. I can't see anything else that needs replacing, so we'll add all of these components to the list. So the ignition coils, the camshafts and the cam gears. Spark plugs are fine. Okay, we'll go on the computer. So you see we've got $6,300 to spend. So ignition coils to start off with. IGN, there we go. 4 of those. And the cam gears, CAM. There we go, 2 of those. And the cam shafts, 2 of those. Right, I'll assemble them back onto the engine. I'll see you when I've finished. That's everything back on the car, so we'll sell everything in our inventory. That will give us more money. So we need to put fresh oil in the car. So let's fill this up with lovely fresh new oil. That'll do. Let's check the level. Perfect. And it's a nice colour as well. Okay, let's lower the car down and finish the order. And we're going to be paid, let's have a look, 1800. So we've now got 7400, and we should have unlocked some skill points. Yes, 3. So let's have a look. I think we'll unlock faster screwing and unscrewing, faster part installing and removing. What else is there? Oh, hold on, test path. Right, let's unlock the test path. There it is. So we've got a new table, repair table, and our new test path. So we'll accept one more job today. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a Ford F350 rear wheel drive, so we need to repair all the running gear faults, and apparently the controlling feels loose. So I've accepted that job, so we need to have a look at the running gear. I'll just jump in. Very nice in here. Let's turn it on. Yeah, starts at first time, no problem. So we can put it on the test path, seeing as it starts, and that will be putting that new test path to good use. But let's have a look at the overview mode. As you can see, nothing is highlighted. We haven't discovered any faulty parts on it as yet. And if we have a look at our tools, we haven't got any unlocked. So the only equipment that we have for discovering tools is the test path. So the car is now in the test path, and we'll use it, find out what the running gear problems are. So the engine is on. We're going to drive forward and apply the brakes. We'll test the front brakes. According to the reading, they're fine, nothing wrong with the front brakes. So the rear brakes, I will apply them in a second. Okay, let's have a look. So the rear brakes are also fine. Okay, front suspension. Let's have a look. So the driver side needs looking at. Passenger side is fine, and the rear suspension. Both sides are fine. So it's just the front driver side suspension that needs attention, and hopefully if there's any other faulty parts on the vehicle, we'll be able to visually identify them as well. So I've got the car on the lifter. I'll lift it up, and it's the front driver side suspension we need to look at first. Yeah, looks very rusty. Passenger side is fine. Steering rack I see is rusty, and looks like the rear drive axle is rusty as well. Okay, so that wouldn't have shown up on the test path. But anyway, we'll take the wheel off to start off with. And the brake caliper, the brake pads. We'll take the disc off, the hubcap, the hub bearing, and we'll take this off as well. We'll take the knuckle housing off, the tie rod, and we'll take the inner tie rod off. And then we've got this sway bar. Of course, we need to take the upper suspension arm off and the suspension spring, and then we'll take the sway bar off so we can get to the lower suspension arm. And of course there are some rubber bushings that need replacing as well. So that's this side complete. Now the steering rack we need to take off, but of course to take that off we have to disconnect the tie rods on the passenger side. So we need to take the wheel off, and we'll take the brakes off again. So the caliper, and the pads, the disc, the hub, and we'll take the wheel hub off, we'll take the housing off, and we can get to the sway bar, the outer tie rod, the inner tie rod, and then the steering rack. All the bushes seem okay here, and I think that's everything that needs replacing. Until we can upgrade the repair bench, we'll have to buy all the new parts, but we'll first of all just have a quick look, see if there's anything we've missed. And we need to separate the suspension, because we'll need new suspension setup. Right, let's have a look. So we'll add everything we need to the list. So the upper suspension arm, rubber bushes, okay, the discs are fine, rubber bushes again, sway bar, outer tie rod, steering rack, and the suspension. Let's go and buy it all. So okay, bottom suspension arm, so we need two of those, or one of those actually. The reason I've added two is because my screen cuts the top of the gameplay off, so I need to add two so that I can see one, if that makes sense. So I'll have one bottom suspension arm and the double wishbone shock absorber, one of those. Now the front shock absorber cap, we need to buy one of those. And the next thing is the spring, so the front suspension spring. Then it's the outer tie rod, one of those. There it is. Then we need some rubber bushes. We need to buy 3 rubber bushes, and then we'll type in steering rack. So there's your steering rack. Then it's the sway bar front end link B, so we need one of those. There it is. And finally the upper suspension arm. So I've typed in upper suspension arm. There we go. So what I'll do, like before, I'll put everything back on the car, but first I need to attach the suspension. There we go. Right, I'll get started in putting everything back on the front of the car. Right, that's the front of the car complete. I think that was everything. If not, we'll soon find out. So I'll lower the car down and we'll have a look at the job list. Oh, there's one part undiscovered. What was that then? Let's have a look. Oh, it could have been this. This is the leaf spring rear drive axle. Let's just have a quick look to see if it's anything else. It could be maybe a rubber bushing or something. It all looks fine, so maybe it is that rear drive axle, which is a bit of a pain because that means we'll have to take the rear wheels off. Right, yeah, it's got to be that. Okay, right, not a problem. We'll get started dismantling the back end. So I'll take this rear wheel off first, and the brake caliper, then the brake pads, the discs, and the hub. This is the rear drive axle, and what's next? It's got to be the, well, we'll take the leaf spring U-bolts off. Okay, so that's one, and the other one, and the plate, and then the leaf spring has two small rubber bushes in. We have to take them out, 1 and 2. So now we can take the leaf spring away, and we'll take this off and the knuckle housing, and that's this side complete. So we'll take the wheel off the other side, and the disc, oh no, the caliper first, then the pad, then the disc, then the hub, rear drive axle, then the hub, then the knuckle housing, then the U-bolts, you'll probably notice I'm playing this on expert mode, so it's a lot harder than when you play in normal mode. It doesn't highlight anything when you're dismantling. It doesn't tell you what you need to dismantle in order to dismantle the highlighted part, so it is difficult. So we'll take the suspension off, and then we can remove the leaf spring drive axle, in theory. Oh, the drive shaft. Now the axle. There we go, we've finally got it. So that should be the last part we need to replace, so let's find it in the inventory. We'll add it to the parts list and buy a replacement. So there it is, leaf spring rear drive axle. So we'll go to the computer, type in leaf spring rear drive axle, Where is it? Here it is, $600. So we'll buy that, and I'll put everything back together again. There we go. I think that's everything put back on the car. We've got the axle on now anyway, but there's only one way to find out if we've completed the job, and that is to go into the car status. Looks okay to me. No, there's a leaf spring plate missing. Okay, not a problem. We'll raise the car up again. I obviously didn't put the second leaf spring plate on. So it must have been this side. Yeah, there it is, it's missing. Okay, so we'll mount it onto the car, and the U-bolts. So the first one and the second one. Oh, that one's rusty. Ah, okay, I'll have to buy another U-bolt. Shouldn't be expensive. $15. Nah, that's fine. Well, fingers crossed this is the last part we need to put onto the car. There we go. So that should be complete. So we'll lower the car down all the way to the ground. Oh no, I pressed the up button. I hate it when I do that. Come on, lower it down. And all the way to the ground. That's better. Okay, let's have a look at the car status now. It will be $4,600 and it's all done. Complete. Excellent. And we have unlocked another skill point, so let's have a look. There's a tyre tread tester. I think we'll go for that. Right, let's see. We'll sell everything. Oh, we got a case. Brilliant. What's in the case? All #1 quality. So we've got a drive axle, a crankshaft and a brake caliper. I think we'll keep the brake caliper and we'll sell everything else, because we can use the brake caliper on any car that we replace the brakes with. There we go, that's everything. So how much money have we got now? We've got $10,000 and we're level 5. I think that's all we'll do today, so hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers for watching, see you soon.